Welcome. It's Friday. Tonight we have a special. We are going to forget the current narrative in the world and we're going to step back and have a look at giants, Nephilim, ancient civilizations. And we have a very special guest, RA CASTALDO. He will be, his section, our segment will be on in about an hour and a half. But in the meantime, I'm going to play some music, let the stream warm up, and we will go live in about 10 minutes. So get ready.
Go is claimed to have destroyed priceless pieces of history. A video posted yesterday shows people taking power tools and sledgehammers to irreplaceable statues and artifacts in Iraq. One piece may date back all the way to 700 BC. Clarissa Ward is in London with why the extremists say it had to be done. Clarissa, good morning.
Good morning. Well, CBS News has not been able to authenticate this video, but it was posted on social media accounts that regularly are used by ISIS, and it shows what could be the loss of artifacts up to 2,700 years old.
Sledgehammers, drills, and bare hands. The weapons used by ISIS in its latest demonstration of destruction. This video appears to show the inside of a museum in the Iraqi city of Mosul. The extremists strip the ancient statues of their protective coverings, then shatter the priceless relics. A religious spokesman for the group condemned the treasures as sacrilegious. These idols and pagans for people in the past centuries were worshipped instead of Allah.
welcome. Okay, so it's 7 o'clock and we have a special show tonight. Hello, how are we? So I've rejigged my camera. I've actually put about 5 hours. I'll just sort of stuff out. I put about 5 hours work into this show, I think. So yeah, it's going to be a good one tonight. Anyway, welcome. Tonight, sorry, music was too loud. Anyway, tonight we have a good show. We are going to look at several topics tonight. Giants, all sorts of stuff. So I'm going to play you a clip. I'm going to let you watch it, and we will go from there and get into just what the US military have been doing in Iraq and Samaria, Uruk, Gilgamesh, etc. Check it out.
ISIS claims to have destroyed priceless pieces of history. A video posted yesterday shows people taking power tools and sledgehammers to irreplaceable statues and artifacts in Iraq. One piece may date back all the way to 700 BC. Clarissa Ward is in London with why the extremists say it had to be done. Clarissa, good morning.
Good morning. Well, CBS News has not been able to authenticate this video, but it was posted on social media accounts that regularly are used by ISIS, and it shows what could be the loss of artifacts up to 2,700 years old.
Sledgehammers, drills, and bare hands. The weapons used by ISIS in its latest demonstration of destruction. This video appears to show the inside of a museum in the Iraqi city of Mosul. The extremists strip the ancient statues of their protective coverings, then shatter the priceless relics. A religious spokesman for the group condemned the treasures as sacrilegious. These idols and pagans for people in the past centuries were worshipped instead of Allah, he said. When Allah ordered to destroy and remove them, it was an easy matter. We don't care, even if it costs billions of dollars. Here, a militant at an archaeological site is seen destroying an ancient winged bull, a symbol of an Assyrian deity. The artifact is believed to date back to 700 BC.
This means the irreparable loss of some of the world's oldest and greatest antiquities that are representative of the cradle of civilization.
Jim Cuno heads the J. Paul Getty Trust, an organization devoted to the preservation of art and antiquities.
It roots us in our origins. It understands that we are part of a much larger picture, a picture that is as diverse as the world itself.
Since seizing control of Mosul last June, ISIS has been meticulously purging the city of its diverse history. Last summer, the militants blew up this ancient tomb, believed to be the burial place of the prophet known as Jonah in the Bible and Yunus in the Quran.
When ISIL destroys dozens of shrines in Mosul, these acts of vandalism are a tragedy for all civilized people, and the civilized world must take a stand.
It's important to note that not all of the artifacts in the video appear to be genuine. Some of them may have been copies, but extremists are also believed to have destroyed thousands of rare manuscripts from Mosul's libraries. Gail?
Thank you, Clarissa. That's hard to watch, and it's hard to see the glee that was taken in destroying.
Okay, welcome again. So there we see a clip. I want to play you. Let me just get my camera right because I just moved it. Okay, so we are live streaming from the pirate ship tonight, and yeah, we're gonna have a look at a lot of stuff tonight. So that little clip was I've got a croaky throat tonight. Sorry. That little clip was what that band of brothers, let's say, we know who started them, that 3-letter agency. I'm not going to say names. I've got to be very careful about words at the moment. Look at Mark Devlin. Such a shame, really. Anyway, welcome everybody in the chat as well. I'm not going to look at the chat all night, but I will pop back in. Hopefully the levels are okay. If somebody can let me know, that'd be great. Welcome, Jim. Welcome, 3YE. 3YE. I4N3YE. What's your actual name? Anyway, the alphabet agencies is right. Welcome, Kirk. Welcome, Haley. Welcome, Nicole. Welcome, Matt. Sam. Good to have you here, mate. And Matt. Tree climbing Matt. Some new viewers tonight. So, yeah. Cheers, Matt. Thanks, mate. Lovely, jubbly. Right. Okay, I'm going to put the chat away. And, yeah, we're going to get into this. We've got a lot to go through tonight, honestly. The segment I've done with Ra, I'll just come on screen because people apparently want to see my face. So, anyway, but I've done a segment with RA Castaldo, and yeah, it's really good. It's big up to Ra. He's a really, really nice guy, very knowledgeable. Yeah, I remember watching Ra about a year and a half ago, and wow, this guy's great. And now he's on my channel. It's great. This journey that we are all going through, you know, my throat. Sorry. It's, yeah, I'm not going to say the word. So we are taking a break from the current narrative as well. And it's nice to dip back into ancient history and, you know, yeah, just lighten the load a little bit. Yeah. So from that first clip I played, now we are going to have a look at this little bit here. Okay, just a second. I think it's, let me just sort out my groups. Where is it? Ugh, it's not in there, sorry. This is also my Nephilim group. Oh, you're not on display capture, sorry, just a sec. This is on, there we go. So, this is my Nephilim group. The link is in the description if you want to join it. It's got some fantastic stuff in it. We'll be talking about the conference I'm going to speak at. I spoke at this one last year as well in London. Yeah, good times. So anyway, I want to show you this thing here. It's right at the bottom, I think. Where is it? I just had it. Oh my god. Alright, let me sort this out. Just a sec. I want to show you this link. I don't know where it is though. Oh, here we go. Ah, there we go. Right, okay. Sorry, I was actually on the right page. So, this little article, and we're going to talk about, we are going to talk about, wrong page, sorry, just getting the software right. We're going to talk about Babylon, Gilgamesh, Nimrod, the city of Uruk. We're also going to talk briefly now about some apparently, allegedly stolen, let me just tell the camera as well. I've been making some changes, so I'm actually also, so you guys should know, I'm actually using the Wi-Fi from the marina tonight. So if for any reason the stream cuts off, it's set up so it'll pick up my hotspot on my phone. But yeah, the quality should be much better tonight. Problem with the Wi-Fi here, it does cut off sometimes, but we will just go with the flow. And yeah, so anyway, what I want to talk about in that previous clip, they talk about people going into, well, it was the US military allegedly went into the Iraqi museum, and they I think about I heard 5,000 items went missing. I think it might be more than, it says here that it was more than that. I can't confirm that. As with everything we look at, you know, take it with a pinch of salt. I'm not going to read you out this whole article, but it talks about these stolen artifacts in 2003. Also, the year they found Gilgamesh, I think, and I've got a video to show you as well. So let's just show you a little bit of this. Apparently 15,000 ancient artifacts were stolen from Iraq during the invasion in 2003. That was by the military. A lot were apparently handed back. There is a lot of truth to this. Look at this. An ancient Mesopotamian stone bull was sold for $50. Thus, the claim that stolen artifact is preserved isn't true. Yeah, whatever. But I've got videos of cities being blown up. You know, the beauty in this art is just gorgeous. That's in Germany, so they moved it. Sorry. Right. Anyway, so my point is, yeah, it's a bit wild. Just the reason the military went there, you know, was it really for the oil? Was it for the WM, the letter after C? I really hate you watching my words on this platform, but I've just got to. Maybe I'm a bit too careful, but anyway. So we've also got some pictures to go through. There's rumors. We're going to dive into a few ancient civilizations also. One thing I found about the other day was, it's quite fascinating, but they talk about how, I think as well actually, that we only see about, sorry, I think my mic is way too loud. I think what we see is half of the size of the pyramid. I heard a rumor that they go right down and the excavation isn't complete, which is quite fascinating. So yeah, fascinating. Also, this little bit of info about let me just put a slide on as well while I'm doing this, and you can look at this. Okay, so yeah, this apparent allegedly hole in the Sphinx's head, that photo from above I think was taken from early 20th century, about 1930s, I think I heard, from a hot air balloon, and it was rigorously denied, etc. What's all this? Anyway, and we're going to skip through. This is my group, the Nephilim group, and I just want to show you quickly. I'm just checking the stream. We're okay. Good. Welcome, Jim, as well. Good to see you in here, mate. Jacob also. Jacob's we're going to be doing a roundtable on Sunday. Roundtable on Sunday. It's going to be funny. It's going to be a satirical one. We have got a lot of news to go through that I've not been doing because this is purely about Nephilim, RA CASTALDO, ancient history, etc., etc. So, just take you through some of these photos. This is fascinating. Old tree or a volcano. Cheers as well for Friday. I actually got home from work and tiredness actually hit me just before I started the stream. But anyway, this is fascinating. What does that look like to you? Does it look like a volcano? I don't think it does. I don't think it does at all. Yeah. So, roots. Deep roots. This photo, again, we take this stuff with a pinch of salt, you know, but I like this photo. It does looks real to me. I have a very open imagination, very, very open actually. But yeah, anyway, throw COVID tonight. I've got some pictures also. These are some personal pictures. We're going to skip through topics tonight, so I'm not going to stay on a specific topic. We're going to go through the grip here, okay? This is my own personal photo, 2013 in Peru. It was actually on the way to Machu Picchu. But this hole, right? This is one of these holes, and it was part of a tunneling system. And there was another picture. Not this one, with one of these, water gushing out of it, and it was up here. it was so high up, and I was like, wow, where does that go? But way before I was awake, but you know my point. So yeah, anyway, Machu Picchu also, my own picture. When I was there, way before I was awake, I sat there for 2 and a bit hours, and I could feel an aura. Way before I was awake, and I sat there just in absolute contentful. Anyway, yeah, Peru, really, this was Huacachino as well. There was a sand dune, there was an oasis. This was a fabulous place, really. Sandboarding, these tunes were like, yeah, epic. But anyway, let's continue. Actually, this we can show you quickly. This is in China. Looks like it's got a runway on top. Sorry, it looks like it's got a runway on top of this, because this, yeah, it's this one, and it goes right up. It's quite fascinating. I think it's in the group. Is it Lost World? Lost History? I'm not sure. Look at that there.
This is where your story begins.
But you see the runway on top, don't you? Totally. So that's quite fascinating. Also, actually, just while this is playing, stop. Right, you see the can you see the Alfa Romeo sign here as well? I want to bring this up because there's some more pictures in this, and you can all look at it. But what do you see? You see a big serpent. It looks like it's devouring a human. Isn't that strange? Keep an eye out for that slideshow, because there's a lot more. There are a lot more slides to that as well. It's good. So, where's this from? Olmec, Mexico, Mesoamerica. Huge, crazy. So, this is fantastic also. This is actually in Thailand, in Krabi. I've been to Krabi. Gorgeous place. There's a few rumours that this may be fake. Well, it's not, because it is there. I think it's fascinating. You got a giant. Try to look at his metatarsals. It looks like he's got 6 toes. But there's a serpent wrapped around it. I did present this on the Rise Above show as well a while ago. We will actually just dip into, yeah. What's going on here with this? I've got it here. I'll show you. Yeah, here we go. So as you can see, yeah, this is fascinating. The legend of the Nagas, the 2 men that fought for the love for the princess, only to be turned into a giant and a giant snake by the Nagas. Fascinating, really fascinating. Nephilim, giants, you know. I've got a very open imagination. Like the movie King Arthur 2017. If you've not watched it, watch it. It's great. There's a lot of disclosure in there, I think. So let's finish off the Telegram section. Yeah, but it is quite fascinating. It really is. Like, you know, the whole subject of giants, the Nephilim, whatever they may be. You know, everybody's got views on it, but it's a specific subject that I have always really just been fascinated with. This is my own picture of Machu Picchu. You can actually also, if you've not been there, you can actually climb up that mountain just here. That hole there is a viewing point as well. So, I can't remember the name of it, but yeah. Anyway, so some more giants. I want to show you. That I found some really old photos of Machu Picchu. Here we go. Look. This is that one's good as well. Actually, where is it? That's that one. Here we go. Okay, so these were, this is Machu Picchu, early 20th century. It was a British, of course, an agent of the crown, let's say. It was a British explorer. I think it was 1910 or 1914. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm just checking the streams. Okay, cool. So I'm just watching the stream and it just... I'm going to turn the stream off. Sorry, I'm just watching the stream. It looks... and it's got a warning pop up. You check the stream and it goes pop up. Oh, not receiving enough data, etc. Just like, jeez, terrible, really. Anyway, so... Oh, somebody's joined already. I didn't actually mean to click on that. I was looking at the screen. I really need an assistant. So anyway, just Machu Picchu, fascinating place if you've not been there. It was all covered in jungle as well, and they apparently now with this what's it called, that floor bedding scanner they use. Check the stream again. Yeah, cool. Anyway, but they can scan underground now, and apparently in the Amazon they are finding a lot of, let's say, anomalies. The music's a bit loud. So anyway, right, let's continue. I don't want to get too digressed. Maybe I put a little bit too much stuff in the script to make the episode a bit too big, actually. So, fairies as well. Very old photo. Fascinating. Fascinating. Right. Let's dive back into the Book of Giants. Is well worth reading as well. Ra did actually mention that in his segment with me later. Yeah. The whole Nephilim, the Raphaim, the Seraphim, the flying serpents and stuff. It's just it's so like mythological. It just fascinates me. I'm drawn to it. All things giant, these pictures here, these differences in genetic code, really, whoever that skull was, definitely had a different gene code from a normal human, I would say. But anyway, right. I'm going to play one more clip here now. So, let's go to the next clip. And this is what I talk about. I put some of this information in here because myself and Ra talk about Babylon and Gilgamesh a lot. Lilith, and fascinating information is coming up soon. So yeah, this is also very interesting, this giant log cabin. Look at that, the size of it. Anyway, so let's play this clip now.
Syrian temple built nearly 2,000 years ago is now a pile of rubble after the terror group ISIS rigged it with explosives and blew it up. This is what the temple of Baal Shemen looked like before it was destroyed. In the past, ISIS has gone after smaller structures and statues, claiming they were encouraging the worship of false idols and that therefore they must be destroyed. But some experts say, really, this is just a way for the terror group to gain even more notoriety. Let's go to our CNN senior international correspondent, Ben Wiedemann, who is live now. And Ben, I mean, it makes you sick to your stomach, just what exactly, obviously, these terrorists have been doing. But can you explain to me why you think they're doing this?
Well, I think, Brooke, it's for the shock value that they want to show their supporters around the world, or those who might be the supporters, just how far they are willing to go to get across their message of utter nihilism, that they will destroy anything, kill anyone, to show that they are more Muslim than anybody else. Now, it's important to keep in mind that ISIS took over this city, Palmyra in Syria, on the 21st of May. This is the first major archaeological site in this ancient trading town that's been destroyed, but they have killed executed hundreds of people since then. And just last week, the 82-year-old former head of antiquities in that city, who'd served in that position for 40 years, they apparently tortured him for an entire month, hoping to find out where the antiquities they thought were hidden somewhere in that city. And last month, of course, we saw as ISIS brought out 25 Syrian soldiers and had them executed by what appear to be teenagers in the city's ancient amphitheater. So certainly they see this as another opportunity to put on this spectacle of barbarity that doesn't seem to have any end at this point. Brooke?
I spoke with someone just last week who had known that 82-year-old for 25 years, and the way he spoke about him and the fact that this man would not give up, you know, where these antiquities were, these treasures, speaks volumes, I think, about who he was.
Okay, I'm just watching this stream and it looks like it's struggling for some reason, so I'm just going to check it. Let's go to the next scene. I'm just going to check the stream, guys. It looks like it's crap. Guys, can somebody let me know in the chat if the stream's okay? Is it lagging or not? On my end, it looks like it's really lagging, or the stream's not good. It keeps flashing red. Can somebody let me know? Is it okay? Cool, right. I'm just going to ignore that then. It's just YouTube does this all the time. You know. Yeah, so YouTube does this a lot. Right, we're back. So YouTube does it a lot. When I check it, it just goes red, red, red. It's still doing it now. It looks like it's dropping frames. Like the stream's not going well. I'm just going to leave the music playing for a minute, guys, okay, and just sort this out. Okay, what I've done, I've just connected to my hotspot on my phone. That stream was going to go. The problem with the Wi-Fi, everything should be okay now. It will settle down in a minute now. Let me just go back on camera. Sorry, I'm just... honestly, the data problems I have is just annoying. Really, really is annoying. So, anyway, let's continue. Right, what I want to show you... Let's continue with this story about what happened in Iraq.
During and after the 2003 U.S. invasion of Iraq, looters raided the country's government offices and also seized ancient artifacts from Iraq's museums. The museums were also... It is not known how many of Iraq's antiquities have been stolen from the country's archaeological sites. But on Monday, Iraq reclaimed a portion of its lost culture. In a ceremony at Iraq's embassy in Washington, Ambassador Samir Sumaidai took possession of more than 1,000 rare objects. Many date back to Mesopotamian times more than 4,000 years ago.
These items really
Julie Myers is head of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
It's a very high honor on behalf of the people of the United States of America to be able to formally return over 1,000 artifacts back to the people of Iraq. After a long and treacherous journey in many cases, they are finally being returned home. These items are much more than souvenirs or art objects, even though that's somehow what the people who tried to profit from them treated them. These are part of Iraq's priceless history.
Some of the objects, including ceramic pieces and figurines, were displayed on a table at the embassy. One piece, a copper statue, came from a southern Iraq temple dedicated to a king who ruled the region during the 24th century BC. Writing on the statue caught the eye of antiquities expert John Russell from the Massachusetts College of Art.
It says that the temple was for Inanna, the goddess of love and war, and it says that this particular statue is his personal deity, who is to pray for him in perpetuity. So that's why the statue has its arms folded like that. It is completely irreplaceable. It's a unique object.
The pieces were seized from smugglers who misrepresented their country of origin to U.S. customs officials. Many would have been put up for sale had they not been intercepted. Remnants of ancient September 11th attacks. Before taking possession, Ambassador Sumaidai thanked U.S. officials.
We are retrieving some of the treasures of our ancestors. For this we thank the American government, and this is not only something that's important for Iran. It is really a record of the beginnings of civilization for humanity.
The objects will be shipped to Baghdad and entrusted to its Antiquities Museum. Michael Bowman, VOA News, Washington.
So we're back. The data, the stream does not look good for my end. It's just dropping frames a lot. It's rather annoying, but what can we do? Gremlins or not, I'm not sure. Should be okay. Anyway, I'm going to continue. Yeah, you know, these stolen artifacts, what actually were they? What actually were they stealing? What were they looking for? You know, oh, the stream looks terrible. It's just buffering. Oh my god, really, so annoying. Right, I don't know what to do about it. I'm gonna turn stuff off so it just doesn't. Right. Sorry guys, I'm really not sure. The stream just looks, yeah, I'll show you what I see. It's not nowhere there. Oh my god, it's annoying me. Yeah, I'll keep going. Sorry, it's really bugging me. It really bugs me. Right, let's continue. Tell you what I'll do. Let's just continue. I'm going to ignore it. I've done this before, and they just seem to mess around. I'm not sure what it is about. So let's continue. Right. Yeah. Right. Let's. I need to add this in here. Wait a second. Go. Okay. So. What's this doing here? Gremlin. My God. Turn this off. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so we've got, yeah, all these ancient, the stream is awful. It's dropping frames a lot, but anyway, back to the Wi-Fi. Yeah, I'll crack on. Bugger it. Right, let's continue. I am actually recording it anyway, so I can upload it to my Rumble, so it won't be skipping. But anyway, so let's continue. All these ancient scriptures, these pictures with, what are these? What are these? And again, when we look at the Bible and stuff like that, not that I've really read the Bible, but they are all allegory to take these allegories You know, like Ra will talk about in about half an hour maybe. He's got a really good concept and theory about just why. Look at my internet, it's just pathetic. Anyway, yeah, but it's the way you interpret stuff as well. This building again, this is just fascinating. You know, ancient civilizations, how is that carved into the rock? You know, advanced technology, period. This bell is about 200 tons. 200 tons. Who manufactured it? Why was it so big? Why is everything in that ancient civilization bigger in the past? Like we talk about also with every sort of reset, we seem to get smaller, don't we? A lot of people think that. I do. You go back through stories, going back to Adam and Eve, although that's go to the Caribbean. I'm going to start diving. I've got my scuba license and looking for ancient civilizations. There's one picture, I think, where was it? It was so the Grand Canyon quarry or not. I've been there. It's huge, absolutely huge. These are some photos of. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to get off Telegram because that sucks up a load of data. Yeah, these are some photos from the Germans. Yeah, besides Weltwar II in World War II. I think Tibet. Shiva, looks like Shiva. Cheers, Paddy, as well. This is from Paddy, these photos. Fascinating photos. They look like they have, yeah, they look like they've found something. And where are these artifacts? Where are these? I'm going to get off Telegram. The stream is sucky. So, yeah, fascinating. We've got one more, actually 2 more videos to watch. So, the stream looks absolutely crap. Is it okay? Right, sorry, I'll continue, mate. Yeah, it's YouTube. Anyway, the joys, the absolute joys. Yeah, let's have a little look through my PowerPoint display. Again, King Arthur. This movie is great. It's a great movie, honestly. And we're going to do an episode on this pretty soon as well, I think, as I've never really done it yet. This map all connects, and it's fascinating. All subjects on it. It's really fascinating. So, do you know, I'm just really the data, the stream is annoying me. Sorry, I shouldn't be annoyed, but it is. Also, Quaquestal. I'm gonna put some drum and bass back on. This is a bit boring. So, Quaquestal, and the stories about him. Well, him. I say him. The dragon, being. I'll show you. There was a story from the Popol Vuh where Quaquestal apparently used to spray humans. They were dumbing them down. There's a story. Paul Wallace. Yeah, that's where I heard it from. But it really was fascinating the way you look at the skies today, what they're doing, and how it seems to have happened all before, to me. All before, honestly. So yeah. Where is Quaquestal? Do you know what? Actually, do you know what? My PC is slow tonight. It's not, it's really not running very good. The stream's awful. Do you know what? Okay, I'm actually going to play you. This is the event that I will be speaking at in October. a video. I need some, sort the stream out. So that is a conference that I'll be speaking at again this year. The stream is not good tonight. The data is absolutely sucky. So we're going to play you one more video. It's a video that I made. Then we're going to play Ra's episode. The episode I did with Ra. The stream looks okay now, but it wasn't. It's just not. It's just all over the place. I am going to sort this stuff out. So anyway, one more clip about giants and about fairies, actually. welcome back. So I know what it is. It's having Telegram open, just using too much data, I think. I'm not sure why, but anyway, I'm just going to play you one more of my videos, because this video, I love it, but it also Hellboy. What's Hellboy all about? He seems like a Nephilim to me. Check it out.
21st century, the potential for creation of human-like androids is seen as a threat. The UN passes an accord strictly prohibiting android development. Japan resorts to the extreme step of withdrawing from the UN to pursue a policy of high-tech national isolation.
For 10 years, Japan has operated below the radar. In recent months, however, we have observed a surge of new activity. The mission before us: infiltrate Japan.
They're the ones that did this. It's their fault all the people are gone.
Matrix is a system, Neo. That system is our enemy. But when you're inside, you look around, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters, the very minds of the people we are trying to save. But until we do, these people are still a part of that system. That makes them money. How do you understand?
Okay, we're back. The stream does look better now. But, yeah, not without trying, really. It's been, my software has not gone right at all tonight. Even settings inside OBS, when I've gone to reset them, it's all over the place. So on that note, yeah, I'm gonna play you now one last funny clip, just to lighten the mood, because we all like a laugh, and I love this clip. Then it's gonna go straight into the main event, RA CASTALDO. Yeah, astrobiology is good, honestly. So yeah. Anyway, enjoy.
You know, like Biden for America, or what's his slogan? Build back what? Better build what? Build back better. That's awful. I mean, what does that even, build back better? You're sure about that? With a campaign slogan as catchy as that, how can he lose? Build back. It's almost as bad as I'm with her. You know, I'm with her, i.e. it's all about me. Hand me the crown that is rightfully mine. Build back better. Make America great again. Superb campaign slogans. Brilliant. It says nothing and yet says everything. You know, Obama, hope. Brilliant. Doesn't mean anything. Hope. It's a concept. It's a dream, like making America great again. You know, it doesn't mean anything. You're not promising anything. It's just concepts. You know, even lock her up had a certain charm. Lock her up. You can't and you won't. Doesn't matter. Let's shout it anyway. Drain the swamp. Another good one. And he has, hasn't he? He has drained the swamp. I mean, just look at some of the key players in Trump's administration over the past 4 years, and then see how many of them have ended up in jail. Trump's lawyer, campaign chairman, deputy campaign chairman, political advisor, national security advisor, foreign policy aide, and Middle East liaison are all now convicted felons. Most of them convicted of stuff they did whilst working for Trump. The president himself has been impeached, and now Steve Bannon, the insidious racist potato in a suit who masterminded Trump's election victory, has been caught stealing funds from his Build a Mexican Wall Foundation. Build that wall, drain that swamp, make America great again. It's embarrassing, isn't it? But nowhere near as embarrassing as build back better. Bollocks, build back bollocks, build back better. Build back better. It's happening again.
Build back bollocks is bloody right.
Itself. I'm just not sure I can do 4 more years. Yeah. Well, Joe Biden is officially the man the Democrats think can beat Trump this November.
Okay, guys, the main event. Ciao for now. I'll be in the chat. Eyes open. Enjoy the show. Welcome.
Hey, what's up, brother?
How you doing? You good?
How's it going?
Yeah, good. Not too bad. Yeah, I'm actually just watching one of your shows. How you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's all good. Audio's good. Yeah, I'm just watching your stargates of the comets and the Euphrates River. It's good. Are you there, Ra? I think it's frozen. There are. And we're back. So I don't know what happened there.
You good?
Yeah, I'm all good. Zoom's.
Oh. Yeah, so it said that your connection was low.
Yeah, it's weird. I should have a good connection. It is. I am live streaming from the boat, from the ship today, and it's blowing. It's windy today. So yeah, but it should be okay.
I noticed that. I was going to ask you. I was like, is he in a boat or a mobile home?
Yeah, it's a boat. It's a boat. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's it was just briefly the ship that I bought. It was stolen in 1944 from Denmark by a Royal Navy captain at the end of World War II. This boat, fantastic. Like quite a lot of boats were stolen at the end of the war because a lot of people were obviously dead. You know, crazy. Anyway, so yeah, so it's good to do the chat.
That's crazy. People were died, so they just grabbed their boats. They're mine now.
It was a lot of British and American troops. The guy's name was Captain Richard E. Dunn, D-U-N-N-E, and he's a British.
So when people just claim these boats, did they take ownership with them, and now they have like titles or anything like that, or how does it go?
Well, yeah, I've actually got about that much paperwork, quite a lot, and he didn't register the boat for about 7 years till after he had it in the UK. Because obviously, dodgy.
Yeah.
So yeah, funny. So yeah, crazy though. But I was just watching your show on Stargate, Stargates of the Comets and the Euphrates River. That was very good.
Yeah. I mean, we could get into anything you want to get into. We could. Yeah, that's that's a real current topic that I've been talking about. So yeah, we could go there. We could go many different ways.
Yeah. I'll just What do you know about the Ben stone? I find this fascinating. This
the Ben stone.
Yeah, I've been looking into it recently, and it's wow.
Well, I mean, that's basically or many believe is the origins of the obelisk. You know, is the Ben stone, and they also have like the term Betlos or Batlos, Baityllos, Betlos stone.
Yeah. Okay.
This is also another one. This is another name that basically means like sentient stone, right? Or like to be a Betlos stone or Ben stone or Ben of the Ben. A lot of them are called like the Ben of the Ben or Ben stone. Right. This is the origin of basically the obelisk. And I mean, dude, some of these were red granite. I mean, meters and meters high, some of them infused with gold and copper. And a lot of them had these, what they call pyramidions on top, right? Which is a lot of them were copper and golden, and a lot of them are lost, were broken down for building materials over time, but you get keys to it in some of the tablets that we have. That's some of the ones that we have lost. I mean, just now in 2022, what we have left is incredible, but imagine what they had in like all these places from like what's now Turkey, and
Göbekli Tepe,
all through the Levant.
I mean,
all that,
it's like Göbekli Tepe. I think what they've uncovered is 5% of the site. I think it's nothing, isn't it? I think. Well, I heard that.
Yeah. Well, people think too that these Ben stones or even the obelisks are sort of like these primitive or funerary monuments or mortuary monuments. People try to always make like they even call them like a petrified ray of the sun.
Connection's not too good,
right? But to me, the most likely they have to do with creating a harmony, some sort of mots or cosmic energy that can communicate even with comets and meteorites, and the flow of the cosmos, right? I think that's what it's more likely. It was more of a high technology that had to do something like that, and there's some interesting things about Egypt to Italy and what the spots that they chose to put them on in Italy as well. That just proves that It wasn't just to consecrate a sacred spot. They were putting it to tap into the energy of the spot.
Yeah.
You know, and when you look at even the word that they use now, like originally, the obelisk, I think it was called like Tekhenu, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. I think if I gotta look it up again, but
I can look it up here if you want. Sure.
I think it was called. I can look it up real quick. Hold on. I got it in my notes.
Yeah, Tekhenu. I'm seeing it here.
Name from it.
I've just
Tekhenu. Yeah. So that was like the original Egyptian, basically name of it. But you know, we call it obelisk, which comes from like obelisk, which means like a spit or a spike.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like so it's a really interesting, I think one of the most interesting monuments that they had in ancient Egypt is to me amazing. And there's a reason why they picked highly crystallized red granite for most of these ancient ones. Especially red granite can record as well, the crystal and the memory. You know, a lot of places that experience paranormal activity as well will have granite in it. Even here in the United States, we have the Gettysburg, right? You've heard of Gettysburg, the famous battles of Gettysburg. Well, there's a reason why the battle was recorded. There's all black granite in the ground of Gettysburg, dude. Really? All over. Yeah, it's lined with black granite. So, you know, granite is really important for a lot of things, and the crystal, and not only that, but granite emits low levels of radiation that come out of it. It could be like a healing wand. You know what I mean? For giants, you know, because it emits these low levels of radiation. Yeah, dude. Right here in the northeast of the United States is called New Hampshire, right?
Yeah.
We have New Hampshire. New Hampshire is called the Granite State, right? So in New Hampshire, there's a lot of these like huge granite kitchen tops, all these granite counters, right? And if you have that kind of stuff in your house, you have to have these radon detectors because radiation gets emitted from them. It ionizes the air. Yeah, if you got a lot of granite in your house, you got to keep like a cracked window at all times because the radiation will build up. You can get cancer over time. It builds up in there. Yeah, dude. So a lot of these granite things, you know, as we know, low levels of radiation can help cure things like cancer. It's you know, little low levels, right? Yeah, different things, right? So that red granite being chosen is an interesting thing that even have like in Karnak in France, right? They have these grand tumulus structures, they call them, which are like they have Saint Michel is one of them. Saint Michel. Yeah. It's a huge, and it's a bunch of granite blocks stacked on top of each other, going all the way up. And there's just a hole on top, and inside there's chambers. Yeah. So there's no air getting in inside except on the top there, right? So the chamber inside is like highly ionized air from all the granite. So this can be actually used for like seed treatment centers. You know, because seeds that get put in there get highly ionized and they'll experience enhanced growth and stuff like this. Right. So when harvest time comes on, you throw all these seeds in the chamber and the granite's going to ionize the air inside. And dude.
Charge them up.
Yep.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yep. So a lot of people speculate, you know, that they could actually be like seed treatment centers for harvest time. You know, all this in Karnak, that whole area needed it. I think back in the day, it was like, you know, that's why you see even like they have what they call menhirs all through Karnak, all those menhirs, you know, lined up. I mean, I think it had to do with reseeding the ground and having a lot of the energy of the area, you know, changing the air energy. Yeah.
It's like you say about how comets, and I find this fascinating. What was it? What was the term you used? Biological comets? No, biological. I can't remember what the term was. You were talking to your professor friend, Professor.
Interstellar objects, and when we were talking about.
Yeah, you were talking about there was a term, astrobiology. Was it astrobiology?
Astrobiology.
Yeah, it's fascinating the way.
Yeah, that's actually, dude. That guy, Professor Chandra, he's like one of the guys I respect the most in the world. He's in his 80s now, but he's like one of the most famous astronomers in the world.
Yeah.
Right. He actually coined the term astrobiology. Him and Sir Fred Hoyle.
Yeah. I heard that.
Fred Hoyle's of course gone now. He's the late Sir Fred Hoyle, but Professor Chandra, thank God, is still with us. And dude, they've been writing books since like the 80s. I know you guys don't say dude in UK, right? I should
No,
with you.
I actually do. I say dude. I say dude.
You guys say chaps, right? Dude is like a weird word to you guys in the UK, right?
Yeah. We actually say, all right, mate, like mate.
Yeah,
we say mate a
mate,
lot.
right?
Yeah, like Australian.
Mate. So I'll try to get away with that. I'm talking to you like you're my friend. That's why, But yeah, Professor Chandra, man, since the 70s, he's been writing about panspermia and how comets bring life throughout the cosmos, right? That's how I found him, and it's interesting because he actually wrote about one of my ancestors in his books, Giordano Bruno, who's like a very long lost ancestor in my family line.
I know. I've done a little bit of research on Giordano Bruno and how he was. It goes back to the start of I think it's before the Jesuits took the astronomy sort of scene. I think a lot of back in the 16th century, but Giordano Bruno, he was he burned? He was burned, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think it was the year 1600 on the nose in that year. I think it was actually in the year 1600. But yeah, he was kept in a dungeon for years, and then burned alive. And man, he was this guy was only like. He was only about 5'2", so was really small guy.
Yeah.
And and they kept him malnourished. He was basically eating rats in the dungeon for a while, man. And then they brought him in front of the public and was like, "All right, you ready to admit that we're right and you're wrong, and that you were possessed by the evil or whatever was going on with you, right?" So he wouldn't, man. He went out even though he was 5'2" and probably 70, 80 pounds at the time, who knows? He went out like a giant, man, because he was like, "You guys are more afraid of me than I am of you. You're afraid of the truth, and I'm going to stand by the truth." And they burned him alive, man, in front of everyone there. And they stripped him naked, tied him to a post, and burned him alive in front of everyone.
Yeah, I'm just sharing the screen. You can see, Giordano Bruno. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know they sent an apology to my ancestor, Laurie Bruno? She's still alive. She's 81 years old. She lives in Massachusetts. She's a world-renowned psychic. They sent an apology to Laurie in 2000. 400 years later, they sent an apology to our family.
God,
400 years later. Yeah. Now they have a statue for him, and they even have a crater on the moon named after him.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, there's a statue there.
And it's crazy, man. I mean, it really is. But Laurie. I'm actually a reverend in that line, Our Lady in Laws of the Trinacrian Rose. And she worked for NASA in 1960 during the lunar missions. She worked right under Wernher von Braun. She was a technical illustrator when she was like 19 years old as a assistant there, right out of high school.
Yeah.
She was working for NASA. So she's been around, man. And they sent us an apology, I guess. They sent her an apology.
Good.
In the year. So it's pretty intense. I mean, he knew that there was innumerable suns with planets with people living on them and all of this. He already knew this.
Yeah. I actually something. I saw a little video yesterday. Absolutely threw me. It was somewhere in Russia. I think Siberia. I'm not sure where, but there were guys working on a train line, and the guy puts the camera up to the sky. And he went around 360s, and no joke, you can see 5 suns. I don't know. Just weird. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But there's sometimes I've taken pictures where it looks like there was 2 suns in the sky.
Yeah, 2. I've seen 2 suns before, but never 5. And it looked like there was 5, but again, we don't know what's real in this illusionist realm, do we? It's
you know what it is, that it seems to be too, like all of creation, I guess you could say, is mapped out to a sacred geometry, right? Everything is mapped out to a sacred geometry. And our world is getting so advanced with technology that, of course, science and even religion steers to the way where you want to know about the origins of creation. And you want to find those lost coordinates of creation and humanity. And that's what a lot of CERN and everything is. But in reality, instead of searching for these lost coordinates of creation, I think we actually are embedded in the very coordinate we should be searching for. We're already embedded in it, which is really intense, because we get glimpses of it when we're in dream time.
Yeah.
We get dream glimpses of certain things where we're in dream time, where it's a different reality. It's more like a spiritual sort of dreams when you actually wake up out of the dream, and you're able to retain the information, because that's when you remember, right? Most people, the only time you remember your dreams is when the freaking thing wakes you up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You actually, it like wakes you up out of it. And you're like, whoa, I just remembered about a minute or two before I woke up out of that.
Yeah.
Right. So like you remember it, and that's like little glimpses of our spiritual higher dimensional selves, and that's the very coordinate that this physical reality is embedded in. Right. It's like embedded in that. And then that's the coordinate we should be searching and talking about and looking for. It's right there. It's right. We're connected to it still. We get little sparks of it.
Little glimpses now and again, kind of. Yeah. It's like you talked about.
So that's how I kind of look at it.
Sorry, it's like you talk about the harmonic energy grid and all the ley lines. This is very real in this earth, and I would say 80%. 80% of people probably don't have any idea what a ley line even is. Like the population. The population really, we are so uneducated. Not the likes of our community, but the general man or woman in this world's just the education system.
I would agree, dude. Totally, I would agree completely, man. It's really when you start to even talk about it, the society is so programmed about it that most people, I would say 9 out of 10 even, would say you're crazy if you start talking about something like that. It's just the way programming is.
Yeah,
it's just,
it depends where, like you say, when we talk to people, you can't tell them everything, or you're going to sound like an absolute crackpot. You're going to sound like an absolute nutcase. You have to do.
That's why it's good that we have outlets like this, because that's where you can unload the information. Because the right people will find it. They'll look for it. If they want to criticize you, let it fly. If not, the right people will find it usually. Usually the right people will find it. Yeah, that's a good thing that you're doing this, man. It's really a good thing. But
it's like I've only been awake 2 years. I only woke up to everything about 2 years ago, literally.
Wow.
But it just feels natural. I have such a passion. I'll just show you just briefly. Actually, this is a PowerPoint. It was actually. Oh, wait a second. It was for the Nephilim and Anthropology Conference, but it's kind of evolved since then a little bit from David Parry, from the conference.
I've been ingrained in this my whole life, because I was kind of born into it. So it's like it's been kind of my whole life.
Yeah. Well,
I'm just a little bit older than you. We're about the same. I'm a couple of years older than you, I think.
Yeah. But I put this PowerPoint together. It goes from sort of my learnings of where we sort of come from, Jesuit astronomers. Some of the it's very hard whether to believe NASA or not, etc. But going through to like John Dee, all these even the the statue in Egypt that looks really like Obama. This is just crazy. That's another little thing. But you got Babylon, etc. But I just find it fascinating. All this esoteric knowledge.
You just started diving just 2 years ago. You're already starting to dive into it all. Yeah, I get it. So much.
Yeah.
So
I won't go through the whole thing. That's a little map I put together. And actually, we talked last year about ancient artificial intelligence and the story of Babarrik from the Mahabharata in India. I'll find the slide. That story. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because that was fascinating.
He's sort of like a hero in the Mahabharata, and I'm pretty sure it has to do with Indra as well. He might be involved. I don't know if Indra was involved as well, but he was basically this sort of like robotic, weird, from what I remember, like he had this weird type of skull and like a weird robotic type of skull or crystal or metal, weird kind of metal and crystal skull, and it came to a point of the battle where like he ended up like making a deal with them, but in reality, he only used like 3 arrows in the battle, one to kill one side, and the other to like he killed both sides in like instantly.
In under a minute.
Annihilated the whole battle floor.
Yeah.
You know.
Fascinating.
And let's see what they said. What did they say here?
This is. I can zoom in a little bit actually, if you want. Let me just.
In the year 1027 AD, about 1,000 years ago, a group of workers were digging the ground for water in a village called Katu in the state of Rajasthan in India. After digging for more than 30 feet, they found a strange metal box which was sealed airtight. On the box, there was a word engraved to Babarrik. When they broke the box open inside, there was a skull. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they had the skull in the temple for a while.
Yeah, that text there is I think it's an excerpt from one of the stories about. I think maybe it was fine before that. I'm not sure.
I don't know. You see, he finished the war in 1 minute. It said on the top. Yeah, see, he like annihilated all of the battlefield. Now you could look at it several ways. You could even look at it like it was some sort of like comet blast, even. But it seemed like it was like some sort of like heat-seeking missiles, where he had like radar targets where he was able to like click them all on the battlefield.
Yeah,
and they were like they just.
I've heard similar.
You know what I mean?
I heard very similar. I heard there was some sort of technology that came from the crystal head that it wiped out everything in under a minute. That's what I heard as well. But there was something to do with the air as well. Something was floating above the battlefield or something. I don't know.
And they might have even head to head. They had the head on some sort of like automaton that could walk around or something like it was a warrior.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I've heard this. It's fascinating.
Yeah,
and it's like we talk about myths, and I believe you probably do as well. But I think so many myths are facts, and they're just rewritten as a story essentially, like Atlantis.
Mythology is basically history. Yeah, history comes from, all of mythology all comes from some sort of basis and some sort of, real story. And it just, sometimes it gets changes, and there's there's poetic ways of describing history. Right. And that's how things are carried on, because paper and things like that, they get lost over time. They get destroyed. So usually things get passed down orally,
Yeah.
That almost looks like that's from that one book that I forget the name of the book now.
Let me see. I'll do the
I know. But the golden bow. The golden bow. Looked like that picture came from the golden bow that you had there. I don't know. I lost track of what I was saying. But the whatever, I forget what I was saying before that, but
about
I lost my place.
And, I mean, it's just even the Tower of Babel, actually, Tower of Babel. I think I read something somewhere that it was actually as long. It was really wide. It wasn't like we think it was, where it's like the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
They were trying to. If you think about what the definition of the Tower of Babel, what they talk about, they were trying to pierce the veil of heaven.
Yeah. That's what I heard.
So, I mean, they're trying to break through another dimension. They're piercing the veil of the stars, of another dimension. So it's not the people thinking of it as some sort of like, tower made of stone and things like this. It much more likely it was something highly more advanced than that. So. And they even talk about, the Rephaim, the Nephilim were not permitted to rest, and they were not permitted to go to heaven. So they tried to pierce a veil of heaven themselves and infiltrate and invade heaven.
They were trying to take down God, essentially, weren't they? I think
they wanted to force their way in.
Yeah.
And after the flood, you find Nimrod becoming like a Nephilim now.
Yeah,
now he's different. He's not the Nimrod of before the flood. Now he's like a Nephilim. So there's a whole different change that happened there.
Yeah,
and Nimrod's involved in all of that. And then after it's the explosion, is mankind is separated. Everybody's no longer is telepathic. Now they have all these different languages, and they have to figure out how to communicate.
Yeah,
it's like the whole world was changed.
Yeah, it was to divide the population. It was to stop another uprising, apparently, wasn't it? I think to stop it happening again, pretty much.
Yeah. But the comets, you know, that's a big part of the book I'm writing. It's a big part of the information that I've been talking about, and it's vital. And this is proven. I mean, this part, a lot of this stuff I say, you guys could say, well, it might not be true, hear that, but what's is known, it's vital for life to exist in the universe for comets. Comets bring DNA, bacteria, evolution to planets. They seed planets, you know, and there's comets that from the beginning of our solar system that come around in cycles, right? And our planet, I think life has been on our planet like 4.5 billion years or something like this. Before life started, our planet was getting continuously bombarded by comets. Life was being seeded. And then as soon as all that stopped, as soon as life was able to emerge, it did, right? And so it's comets that seed life. And I feel from my research, first from my remote viewings, for those that don't know, for those that are going to listen to this channel, I was already born sensitive. I was born inside the caul, CAUL, which is still in the amniotic sac. So I was still born in the amniotic sac with the umbilical cord around my neck.
Oh, God.
Right. So, and this is called like being born as a caul bearer, or born behind the veil.
Right.
You know, or
it's
a mermaid birth. It's a very rare birth. My mother's water never broke.
Oh, really? God.
I was born still in the sac.
God.
Right. Right. So if you look it up, like a high majority of people born this way experience psychic abilities, paranormal, UFO, all that kind of stuff. It's a hypersensitivity that comes with it. And then in 1987, when I was 10 years old, I had a near-death experience that radically changed my sensitivity as well.
Yeah.
So I already am sensitive to a lot of different things that most people don't even feel, you know. And it's a blessing and a freaking curse. It's not. I'm not bragging in any way.
Yeah. No, I was just saying to you yesterday about only in the last few years I've had a couple of things happen to me about, like, if I used to draw. I'm a bit of an artist, but I can't stand the texture, the frequency, the feeling of the pencil hitting the paper. Now it's like,
that's what I was telling you, that like I can't even touch like velvet, certain things. They just make me cringe, like certain fabrics, certain everything. Going to the dentist, the drill that goes to my soul. Like it's like you know what I mean, like all that. Like I could feel my soul grinding. It's like crazy, you know. And
I was in a vehicle, just to talk about frequency for a second. I was in a vehicle last year in work I had to get a lift for half an hour, and there was a beeping noise in the van, right, in the work van. And it was like a high pitched, some alarm wouldn't go off in the work van. Anyway, by the time I got out the van, I was so agitated. I literally felt so, I was just like, whoa. And I think it was the frequency really got to me, you know? So strange.
Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Is it better with the light on, or is it better how I had it?
It's better with the light off, I think, actually. Yeah. It was fine the way it was. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah. So
so like the comet thing. So what I was saying about that is that it's vital for comets to seed life, right? So, and I think that they go through cycles. When the planet gets reborn, that's when there's a rebirth that needs to be brought. Comets also come, but comets and meteorites and asteroids are always seeding the planet and with new bacterias, even without comet strikes. They're always injecting cometary dust. Always. It's coming in through the stratosphere. All right. And there's certain, I feel there's certain coordinates on our planet that are mapped out, like a sacred geometry is made there, that it's not just random locations, even when we have strikes, that there's certain coordinates that they're pulled in at. Right. And there's there's stargates for this on the planet. And I feel one of them is at the banks of the Euphrates River, which we can get into as well. But, it's like that even for pulling in the cometary dust, right? So certain places on our planet, like the Himalayas, right? So check this out. When we are in a minimum sunspot cycle, right? That means anything lurking in our stratosphere, it's like an open invitation for the cometary dust to come in, where there's places that there's a breakthrough in our stratosphere. On those places, when there's a minimum sunspot cycle, stuff just comes right in that's lurking in there. And what I mean by stuff, it's cometary dust and bacteria and virus and all that stuff that's stuck in there, right?
Yeah.
So that comes in, and there's certain spots like the Himalayas. Check this out, dude. The Himalayas, they're built such a way that they poke a hole in the stratosphere and it forms a tunnel, a route that pulls in everything, like pulls all the bacteria down. It sweeps through, and the first places it goes is like Hong Kong and Taiwan, because it comes in from the right. So in December 2019, we went into the minimum sunspot cycle, like solar cycle set 24 or whatever it was, right?
The grand
and it was
solar.
the lowest it's been in over 100 years.
Yeah.
Right. And that's when we had this even COVID come in.
Yeah.
During that time.
I
December 2019. And the first places it hits is China, right? It's interstellar DNA coming through comets and stuff like that. Even like the whipping cough used to come around every 3.5 years. Well, so does Comet Enki. It's coming around every 3.5 years. Same thing, you know. They're very related. And with like in 1970s, we had what they called the red flu, the Russian flu, the red flu.
Yeah.
Right. So they found in the same day in Bombay, India, and Boston had hundreds of cases break out. And there was no kind of airplanes going like that in the 1970s from Bombay, India to Boston on a daily basis, like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it wasn't being person to person spread. There's no way. You know, because you know, you got Bombay in India and Boston, Massachusetts in the United States. Come on, you know, like how could there's I mean, there's just no way. So it's the comets are seeding virus of evolution. They're seeding things, right? So the Himalayas is the spot of the gods. It's the spot where Shiva sits. It's a spot of DNA, you know, and that's pulling in stuff right there. I mean, it's pretty crazy how when you start to look at it all, it's like like Mount Kailash, all that. The Himalayan mountains, they were designed to be a genetic engineering of the gods. It's helping change the DNA of the planet. Bringing in virus from the sky, you know, from the stars. It's pretty crazy, man.
Yeah, it's full on. It's good.
And that's a fact.
It's
a fact. It's a fact that the Himalayas do that. It's a fact that they do.
It's amazing. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that. Was it called the Tunguska? Do you remember that meteorite in Siberia? Was it early 20th century?
Yep.
The Tunguska forest.
It was the early 1900s in Tunguska. Tunguska.
Yeah, that's quite an interesting one as well.
Yeah, you know, but there's been a lot of people that speculated a whole bunch of things. Some people thought it could have been an explosion of a UFO.
Yeah.
Some people thought it could have been a lot of different things, but I do think it was some sort of meteor event. It could have even been related to Halley's Comet.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm not sure. But it could have been related to Halley's Comet. I think Halley's Comet comes around every like 70-something years or something like that. And what we had Halley's Comet come around in the
I checked this morning, it was 76 years.
Yeah, and so right. So we had Halley's Comet come around in 1986.
Yeah.
So what is that from right around the time of Tunguska event?
Yeah.
So Halley's Comet could have came around, and it could have been meteorites coming off of the comet.
Yeah.
You know, that come off of it. And that's what we could have seen in Siberia. That's what comes to mind for me, at least.
Yeah, no, for sure. Can you tell? I actually don't know much about the Euphrates River, but what do you know about that? Do you want to talk about it a bit, about what you found?
Yeah, so the Euphrates River is a very important part in a lot of ancient cultures, including the Sumerian epics, and even in the Bible. It's all over, even in the book of Revelation, right? And it has to do with very interesting things. And I mentioned before how I'm already hypersensitive to certain things. So I've been over the years, I've learned how to do certain remote viewings. And from my remote viewings on the Euphrates River, I found an area where I believe that there's an installation. Now, I'm not going to talk about the specific area right now, but we could talk about what the Euphrates River in general and what the installation's about.
Yeah.
Now, the installation, I feel, is some sort of tree chamber type thing. You know, it's not a tree, but it's been described as a tree, but it's some sort of chamber with crystals and all sorts of things that's on the banks beneath the Euphrates River.
Yeah.
And I think this is one of the spots where it's like I think a lot of these spots, even a lot of these like the Göbekli Tempe, they might be actually megalithic sites that could put somebody in an altered state of consciousness where they can communicate with the cosmos, and including comets and asteroids and meteors, and even about what kind of bacteria and DNA is contained within it, and where it's being sent throughout the cosmos and things like this, right? And I think they even communicate with the Kuiper Belt and the Oort cloud. This is spots in our solar system that send comets out. You know, this is what sends comets out, right? And they're torus fields. They're torus spheres. You know, like a donut, like a torus sphere. That's what the Kuiper's belt is in the Oort cloud, right? Just like we have around the very biofield of our bodies and all the way down to the cells of our bodies.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Our whole biofield is made out of a net of torus fields, right? Even the little cells of our bodies, I've seen, even when I was on ayahuasca, every little cell of our body has a little torus field spinning around it, and it's connected to a big net that looks like an umbrella bell that's around 8 feet around us, spinning.
Wow.
You know, and it's connected to the Kuiper belt, to the torus field, to the spirals of the galaxies. That's how we're connected to cosmic consciousness. It's through those torus. It's tori within tori, tori within tori, toroidal movements. You know, just spinning.
Yeah,
that's what we're connected to.
It's all energy.
I think these megalithic sites are even, you know, can put people into altered state of consciousness, especially when we had bigger humans on the planet that had higher telepathic abilities, you know, and they would be standing at these huge megalithic stones or in these chambers and getting connected to cosmic consciousness and different things, right? So the banks of the Euphrates River, there's a Sumerian epic called Gilgamesh and the Huluppu Tree, right? So there's a spot in this, it's a pretty long epic. It's with Inanna and all of this going on, but there's a spot, it's called Huluppu, let me look up the correct spelling for you. Hold on.
Is it Gilgamesh? I've got it. The Huluppu tree. The Huluppu tree.
Yeah.
The Huluppu tree, I think it is. Let me just get it up.
Let me look up the right spelling for you, brother.
I've got it here. I think it's I'm trying to share the screen. There we go. I think
it's Huluppu.
I've got PPA of probably the same, maybe different. Let's see. What's this? Oh, is this? That's Ankhs.
Yeah.
Wait, let me go back one more.
Yeah, they're all in it. There it is. See,
all right.
They talk about the Euphrates in there and all that. So there's a spot in this epic, right? This is one of the installations that I'm talking. And you'll see that sometimes you'll see a bird-like Anunnaki being, like you see on the left, holding the basket, and sometimes with a thing that looks like a wristwatch on them, and they're plucking some sort of crystal or pine cone or something usually from this. But they call this sometimes the Assyrian moon tree. Sometimes they'll call it the Assyrian moon tree or whatever. This is some sort of installation type device that I believe is on the banks of the Euphrates River and underneath the waters, right? And there's an interesting spot in this epic that talks about Lilith or Lilake. Sometimes it's pronounced Lilith, where she builds her quote unquote house or some sort of installation in the midst of the Huluppu tree, right? Which is sometimes translated as a willow tree, but I don't believe it's a willow tree. I think it's some sort of like installation type technology, right? Which she planted on the banks of the Euphrates River during the days of creation.
God.
Right. So they talk about there's a spot in this epic in the Gilgamesh and the Huluppu tree that Lilith goes and builds some sort of installation, right? And inside of this tree on the banks of the Euphrates River in the days of creation. And then there's a dragon, a quote unquote dragon, right? This is a poetic way of talking about technology. There's a dragon that's planted on the bank of, that's planted on the base of this tree. And then this quote unquote zoo bird places her seeds, her young, in the crown of this dragon that's around the base of this tree. And then Gilgamesh comes along and he slays the dragon. He breaks that part, right? He kills it with his huge bronze axe, his gigantic bronze axe that he has. And then the zoo bird that's in the tree flies with its seeds, its young, into the mountains. And then Lilith is so freaking horrified and terror-stricken by what Gilgamesh did that she flees into the desert. And then you find in the Bible, like in the book of Isaiah, Lilith is in the desert, the screech owl that lives in the desert, and all of this. So the Bible sort of like picks up after that. But I mean, look what they're talking about here. I mean, this is a poetic way of talking about some sort of installation that Lilith puts in at the bottom of the Euphrates River. And then some sort of quote zoo bird places some sort of seeds or crystals or young inside of the crown of the dragon that's around the base of the tree. And then Gilgamesh comes and smashes it with his bronze axe. And everybody's terror and horrified. And the zoo bird takes off with his seeds and goes into the mountains with him. And then Lilith is just terror stricken and flees to the desert. Right. So what are we talking about here? This is incredible information. And then, so I feel this is a clue to what I remote viewed at the Euphrates River. And then in the book of Revelation is even more incredible stuff that we can get into as well, because that is where the Euphrates River talks about how it's going to be activated at the end times, and the Stargate is going to become activated, and 4 comets are going to come down and smash into the area where the Euphrates River is. And not only 4 comets, but a third of humanity is going to get killed, it talks about. And there's going to be 200,000 meteorites that come off of these 4 comets. And it talks about it right in the book of Revelation. And I could show you, and I think that's a picture of Gilgamesh, right? That they show. Yeah. So, I mean, you'll see pictures of Gilgamesh where he's yoking up a lion like it's a kitten.
I've seen it.
Where he's got like a cat. and things like that. And so
it's the thing about It's the thing about Gilgamesh also with how I think he's one third human, 2 parts fallen angel. So he's 66%. Well, 666, isn't it again? Obviously, but it's strange the way, and he could also be Nimrod, and it depends how we interpret these allegories. And stuff.
Well. People speculate a lot of things too, like with that, and then if you look into like the Book of Giants that were found in the Qumran caves, the Manichaean Book of Giants, the Chaldean Book of Giants, you have all these different Book of Giants. You'll find some interesting legends, man. Even how like the Nephilim and the Rephaim might have survived the flood. There's these Hebrew legends where, they talk about King Og holding on to the Ark of the Covenant, that he survived. He didn't die in the flood. That he was holding on to the Ark of the Covenant while the tide waters are rising, right? And then they say Noah lets him on the Ark and he's feeding him through a hole on the Ark.
Good.
Right? In some of these stories. So, and then later on in even some of the stories, he has kids with Noah's daughters in some of the Hebrew tales. So, so it depends what you want to believe.
Yeah, exactly. It's fascinating. It's something I've since I've become awoke, it's hard to watch movies in the same perspective than you used to,
Yeah.
Let me tell you. But what I've realized recently, in the last couple of months, I'm actually really enjoying rewatching movies, and you can really watch them and you can just look out for hidden stuff, and you can really pick it apart in a way you definitely couldn't before. But it's fascinating.
Yeah.
But yeah. But it's fascinating to think maybe should we finish up soon? I think we've just gone over an hour. I'm not sure how long exactly, but
it don't matter. Yeah. Do you want me to show you the part? Well, you know what? We'll do one more thing.
Yeah, for sure. I'm in no rush.
Yeah, I have the Bible right here. I'll show you right here in the book of Revelation with the River Euphrates. I mean, we could do another week. You know what? In another week or two, we'll do a second episode or something.
Yeah,
we could.
That'd be awesome. Awesome, yeah, for sure.
We could finish it. So, like in the Book of Revelation, and I'm using the this is just the King James version here, King James version, right?
Yeah. I've got the same.
If you go to the Book of Revelation, go to Revelation 9. I think it's. And now, in the second part we could go into the whole thing with the Book of Revelation, because before you even get to Revelation 9, there's like 5 other events before you come to the sixth vial or sixth sixth angel, right? So in Revelation 9:13, that's where we're going to start right here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read what it says there, and then I'm going to read how I would translate it.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right. So in Revelation 9:13, now this is about comets coming down, 4 comets being loosened from either the Kuiper Belt or the Oort cloud, coming down and hitting the Euphrates River, and then killing a third of mankind, and then 200,000 meteorites, which they call horses, coming down and killing a third of mankind. So here we go. Revelation 9:13. You got, and the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the 4 horns of the golden altar, which is before God, saying to the sixth angel, which had the trumpet, loose the 4 angels, which are bound in the great river Euphrates. Now you can read that as either bound for the great river Euphrates, right? And the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for a specific hour, on a specific day, on a specific month, and a specific year, to slay a third part of mankind. And the number of the army was of the horsemen were 200,000. And I heard the number of them. And I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, and having breastplates of fire, and of jacinth and sulfur and brimstone. And the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouth issued fire and smoke and brimstone. By these 3 was the third part of men killed, by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone, which issued out of their mouths. Now, fire and brimstone and smoke and so forth doesn't come out of horses' mouths. This is a poetic way of, you know what I'm saying?
Dragon.
So, and then it says, for their power is in their mouth and in their tails, just like comets. Their power is in their mouth and in their tails, right? For their tails were like unto serpents, and had heads, and went with them they do hurt. And the rest of the men were not killed by these plagues, and then it goes on and on. So I'm going to go back and now go say how you should be saying it.
Yeah.
Right? The sixth angel sounded. Now this is I think some sort of technology that's going on within our Kuiper Belt or Oort cloud that they're calling the altar of God, the golden altar of God. It's preparing the 4 comets, saying the sixth angel sounded. And also with angel in the Bible is angelos, right? Angelos definition is a messenger of the heavens. This is what a comet is, a messenger of the heavens.
Yeah.
So when you're seeing angels, you can also interpret the very name angel as a comet, a cometary messenger of God.
Yeah, crazy.
Right? It's a technology of God, right? So it's saying to the 6 angels which had the trumpet, loose the 4 comets, which are bound for the great river Euphrates. And the 4 comets were loosed, which are prepared for a specific hour and a specific day and month and year to slay a third part of the mankind. And the number of the army of meteorites that came off of this comet were 200,000. And I heard the number of them. This is John getting a telepathic sign of everything. All he's hearing the number of how much is coming down and everything. You know, this is intense, man. You know, and it's talking about how the horsemen, you know, and these meteorites, they're not horses, they're meteorites. He saw them in the vision, and he saw what was flying on them, and they had breastplates of fire and, you know, and brimstone and all of this, man. It's really intense, right? Yeah. It's just and all over the Bible they talk about the Oort cloud, like they'll say at the edges of the universe, these storehouses of snow. In the Bible, like, oh, what is a storehouse? Well, the edge of the universe, the Oort cloud, is so frozen, it's a storehouse of comets, and it's a nursery of bacteria and interstellar frozen life. It's a storehouse of snow. That's what the Oort cloud is. You know, and right in the Bible, there's, I think it's in the book of Isaiah, or let me see if we have in the book of, I think it's either in a book where they talk about how that the Queen of Heavens and the Lord, well, the Queen of Heavens is also a comet, right? It's the Queen of the Heavens, the comet. It's the cosmic womb. It's coming from the cosmic womb of life. Even a lot of these red harlots of the Bible, right? It's the whore of the heavens, the comet. It's literally the harlot of the heavens. That's what it is. It's bringing destruction and rebirth and new life, right? Yeah. That's what all the Queen of Heavens do. They're fertility gods and they're destruction gods. That's what comets bring. They bring storm, they bring fertility, and they bring destruction to a planet.
It's funny, yeah. Have you? I'm just thinking about the YouTube channel John Levy, and he looks at a lot of this, a lot of melted buildings and stuff, and how that could also link to comets and plasma,
and a lot of that, desert glass, all that stuff, all that stuff that they have, and you'll find these little balls of it everywhere in certain spots,
it's crazy.
And I think it's the Euphrates River has a stargate for comets. That's what it's, some sort of installation, that's for that.
It's like that tree you talked about, the Huluppu tree. That was very interesting, the way, and that there was some sort of deity or bird or something above it. Did you see that?
The zoo bird.
I'll put it back up on screen. Yeah, I'll put it back on screen because that was interesting.
If you go into, when we look up, we can look up what's the zoo bird that they're talking about. It's very interesting. So, right, if you go into the ancient archaic dictionaries that I have, where they talk about the zoo bird, and you could find an author from the 1800s that put one out, archaic dictionary. His name was William Ricketts Cooper.
Okay.
The guy who died in the 1800s, right? He puts out the archaic dictionary. So the definition for the word zoo in ancient times, what's the zoo bird that we're talking about? So zoo has to do with a certain legend, a mystical deity who appears to have been sort of like a Babylonian Prometheus type of thing, where he steals these tablets of destiny and other secrets of the gods, because Bel had ordered Rimmon to slay him, and then Zu flees to the desert places, just like they talk about in these tablets, and was unable to get killed by Rimmon. Tried to slay him, so he was able to get away from being slayed, and he steals these tablets of destiny and takes them, and then it says Zeus seems to have been changed into a bird called by the Assyrians the divine zoo bird, and by the Akkadians the divine bird of the tempest. It was a species of vulture as an emblem of the storm god, of which the god Zu was originally an impersonation. It is possible that he is to be identified with the god Z, in Assyrian Nisu, or man, who seems to be regarded as the first human being in the tablets which describe the fall. But it seems to be that the zoo bird is something that stole tablets or technology that had to do with the creation and the destiny of humans.
Yeah. I know.
So that could be completely related to comets and some sort of, maybe some sort of activation seeds, crystals or something that you put into the Stargate to activate it. Because like the zoo birds in the story, the zoo bird takes his little young seeds and puts it in the crown of the serpent that's wrapped around the tree. Right. So what the hell are they talking about there?
Yeah.
It's like you got to decode that. And I think he stole something. He stole some sacred stuff that had to do with that installation.
Yeah. Can you see what's on screen now? I'm not sure what this is, but what
it looks like a phoenix rising from
the ashes or something. Yeah. Yeah. It looks like
buffalo.
It's strange. Yeah. Strange. It just caught my eye. But
that looks like cuneiform around it.
It looks. I've not seen this one before. It's quite strange, isn't it?
It looks like a weird form of cuneiform around.
Yes, strange form. Yeah, I don't recognize. I'm no expert, but you can kind of tell if it's Egyptian or Sumerian. But yeah, it's strange.
Well, the stag god and the wolf god are the two gods that preside over the solstices and of the summer and winter solstice. Those are like some of the two main things. So you got kind of like the stag god in there almost. It's almost like a I don't know.
It looks like it's like you can see the horns coming from its head there.
Yeah, most likely these things are like star maps. You
Yeah.
know, they're a lot of them are like star maps, you know, and it could have to do with constellations and something rising over a binary star, those two things going two different ways on the bottom. Those could even represent like a binary star or something, and something rising over it. You know, who knows? It could be so many things that, you know,
Yeah.
the way you can decode it, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Very interesting.
Definitely. So yeah, but that's fascinating. It's yeah. What about the Raytheum as well? This is a fascinating subject. It's kind of, I'd like to say thanks as well to David Perry, the Reverend. I was speaking to him last night about how he sort of put
Yeah,
me
it's my old buddy.
how he put me in I'm in the conference and stuff, but this subject, like, this is why I think David noticed me, because I was really looking into Nephilim and the Raytheum and Anakim, and, you know, even the Anakim, these were apparently as tall as large cedar trees, and large cedar trees were what, 300-400 feet tall, some of them.
They say some of them were as tall as trees. Yeah, you know, I mean, there's so many of those. There was the Anakim, you know, the Gibborim, you know, there's so many different names of the tribes, you know.
The Gibbor is giant in Hebrew, isn't it? Gibbor. But yeah, I was going to do an episode with.
But yeah, let your. I also make the copper items and all of that too. So anybody, any one of your fans that are listeners that want copper or crystals, I'll send them free stuff with every purchase.
Yeah,
and they can have 10% off. You know, if the coupon code that's on the website.
Yeah, no, cool. Well, what I'll do, Ra, I'll get. Have you got any? Have you got a video of your copper products, or is it your website? Is it Mystic Spiral?
Yeah,
Spiral Mystic.
I just made I have the mysticalspiralstore.com is the website, and I also have a new YouTube channel with the copper products on it.
Yeah. Sure.
Just for copper. Yeah.
Yeah, no, cool. So what I'll do, obviously after we finish it, what I'll do, I'll screen record your website, and I'll put it in the episode so it goes like after this.
Cool.
Yeah, so we get.
Sounds
some,
cool.
But
Well,
yeah,
dude,
but actually,
I want to thank you for having me on. You know,
it's
we could definitely do this on a regular basis, man.
Yeah.
We could do it more often.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'd be happy. Like I say, I've started a weekly Friday show because I want to sort of build up a weekly show. But yeah, by all means, but you come on once a month, once every 2 weeks, however long, you know. But yeah, but that's one thing that fascinates me about the the copper Ankhs that you made as well. These are great. I love these, really.
Yeah, dude. It's really.
Yeah, same with the crystal skulls you've got.
Well, I used different cubits, but one of them is the royal cubit, the sacred royal cubit. And they actually used that in ancient Egypt, right? Incorporated in the Giza pyramid. There's a little stone called the boss stone that's above the entrance to the queen's chamber, I think.
The queen. Yeah, maybe.
And it's like a little projection stone. They used the royal cubit right in that stone, and it's cut from the royal cubit, and it's twisted clockwise. Like you can see the copper twist.
Yeah. It's nice.
You know, it's twisted clockwise, you know, and when these rings, this is cut from the sacred cubit and then made an energy circle out of it. And can't see it on the camera, but there's an emit of an energy that comes out of it. And the sacred cubit is 144 hertz harmonic resonant frequency, is like harmonic light speed.
Yeah.
So like it can actually pull negative pain and negative energy. Like it's not woo woo, it's real science about it, because normal copper has a positive and negative charge within it, two poles, right? But when you twist the copper using the clockwise fashion and you're cutting it from the sacred cubit, it's only leaving a positive charge within the topper. So you're having an explosion of electrons that come out, brand new electrons that puts positive healing effects to the bone, to the body, to the mind, to the body and soul.
Awesome.
You know, it's positive healing effects. And they used it in ancient Egypt and they used it in ancient Hebrew. I mean, they even talk about it with the staff of Moses, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Hebrew, right? They have the staff of Moses. Listen to what it's called in Hebrew. It's called Nakash HaNekoset, which means the copper serpent.
God, really good.
Nakash is the serpent, even used in the Garden of Eden. The Nakash, the serpent in the garden, right? It's called Nakash HaNekoset. HaNekoset is the copper serpent, right? So, and they talk about, for Moses, God tells Moses to put this twisted copper thing, a serpent, right? And if you look at this is a copper serpent. It's a twisted copper serpent.
Yeah.
Right? And so he puts this copper serpent around the rod, and he tells the Israelites to stare at it so to protect them from the evil stuff in the air, the flying serpents or whatever is coming. Right. So, I mean, what is he talking about here? He's talking about some sort of high technology that's involving copper, twisted copper.
Yeah.
You know, and the twisting the copper is what makes the positive charge in the copper.
Yeah. Crazy.
Right? Yeah. So yeah, we could definitely get into that another time.
No,
But
for
yeah,
sure.
I want to thank you for having me on.
Yeah.
So, for sure,
It's
man.
been a pleasure. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
All right.
Cool.
Take care, brother.
Ciao for now. Bye-bye.
Guys, we'll see right here. It's going to be a quick video because I just did one in high definition, which I will be posting for my subscribers and members only. But I did one live for everybody here so you can see amazing items right here. Custom made copper Faraday cage, twisted using the sacred cubit tensor Faraday cage, and charging and cleansing inside of it, pulling the negative or any negative energy accumulated in it and charging in the sun. You have a very very rare stone from southern India called ruby matrix. I love the ruby matrix. The ruby matrix is all about abundance. It connects to the heart chakra and heart energy, true heart emotions as well. And it brings abundance. It brings abundance of money, physical, spiritual, all of that. Ruby matrix is truly one of the best rare stones you could find. And you can find also my copper Faraday cage on my website as well that you see here. This is also used for a respiratory cage. You see the strap that you see on it? It's designed to fit around the head. So this piece right here goes over your nose and mouth area. It brings instant relief to allergies and all sorts of things. But it also can be used to put over other various places on your body. You could put over your knee, your hands, your foot. You can, all sorts of things you can do with it. But what's also a very interesting aspect of this copper tensor sacred cubit Faraday cage you see here is that it can be used for cleansing and charging items. Not just stones and crystals, but food, water, herbs, buds, you know, all sorts of things, right? So definitely hit that like button, everybody. And you could find ruby matrix and these sacred cubit Faraday cages on my website. These are the cage is called the respiratory pineal cage, and these are called ruby matrix. I have some raw tumblers of ruby matrix that are about half the size of this palm stone. This is a personal palm stone that I had made from the same person that I know from southern India that gets these stones, right? Gets these crystals and stones that I get. And they had made me a palm stone to see how I like the energy. I have palm stones similar to this in ruby kyanite that are amazing as well, that are on my website. And they come with a package, like they come with like another stone with it. And in fact, anybody that purchases one of these items today or items from my website will receive free labradorite, and will receive a free sample of Hopi petrified wood. So that should be amazing for people to get their hands on. Really, truly amazing. In fact, with the Hopi petrified wood, it's illegal to take any of that from the petrified forest. So there's certain Hopi reservations and Zuni and Navajo stores and reservations that they're able to help provide money for their reservations by legally distributing some of this petrified wood and forest that's over 200 million years old. People that take it illegally, it's against the law. people to remove any of the petrified wood from the forest. So this is outside of the petrified forest that's on Hopi Reservation and Zuni Reservation land. And I got it from one of the Hopi and Navajo dealers out in Arizona. A buddy of mine had picked it up for me and sent it to me, and I have the, you know, the certificate card saying that it wasn't taken from the petrified forest. And you could find all that on my website in the description of the pictures of it as well. So this is truly amazing. You could see these Faraday cages. I mean, they're a once in a lifetime purchase. Even when they get a little bit dirty, the copper, you can clean it, get some steel wool, get some make a solution of like tomato sauce and water and dip it in there, and you could scrub it, do little clockwise circles and scrub it. You could polish the copper back clean. But this ruby matrix is one of my favorite. Ruby matrix and ruby kyanite are some of my favorite, and rainbow moonstone are some of my favorite stones. And kyanite never has to be charged or cleansed. It maintains its charge throughout its entire life. And when you start to see the science of the mineral, you'll understand. It's really interesting. But this here, we have a ruby. It's called a ruby matrix. Really is an amazing stone, and especially when you get the copper Faraday cage to go along with them. And this, of course, is worn over as a face mask. This is a face mask. So it was designed to wear over your respiratory. That's why the strap's on the back, because it goes around your head. But it can be used for so much more than that, you know. And thank you guys for joining me. For those that are my members and subscribers, even my Patreon, I'll let you know I've been working all morning. I just recorded 2 30-minute videos about the prophecies and dimensional travels of Don Bosco, because I'm having a continuing series that's going to be a weekly show on my Patreon as well, titled The Angelic Intelligence Rebellion. And I've already started there's going to be all little subdivisions underneath this, all different articles and series of videos. One of them is on stigmata, and I've already started a few of those videos with the stigmata origins. And now I also just started one that has to do with Don Bosco, St. John Bosco. And, you know, what's interesting about John Bosco is that, you know, he was born in the 1800s. So he was, you know, not too far away in history where we have a lot of documented stuff about his life. You know, things were recorded about his life. It wasn't thousands of years ago where it's speculation. You know, we have a lot of true history about his life. And he even recorded his dream travels and prophecies where he entered the Stargate of hell and was shown things that are truly remarkable. And I went over this in my videos this morning, and also the ones I posted yesterday about St. Francis of Assisi. Thank you everybody for joining me, and Spiral out.